Topping our lineup today here on the Now, canine training programs are working to change lives across the country, how they're helping inmates and the community. And more stores are offering perks to help you buy a car. We're going to check out how these work and if they are actually a good deal for you. Plus, we're seeing all kinds of deals for TVs, but let's face it, they are still expensive. These new TVs, they aren't lasting as long as you may think. What you can do to extend your tech's life.
This is the Now Indy. I'm Amanda Starantino. Families are the fastest growing segment of people affected by homelessness, both locally and nationally. So it was a huge celebration today for local grassroots advocates who are working to get families off the streets and into warm beds. Wheeler Mission has broken ground on its $13 million expanded center for women and children. Every night during the winter months, the mission sleeps about 85 women and children on the floor of gyms due to the emergency beds being full. One of the project's leaders says the numbers are staggering for families affected by homelessness in Indianapolis.
Our city is better than that. Our city is better than that. We have to get the women and children in shelter. So that's why I'm so emotional today. It's been a lot of work in a great way.
Another stark fact, 85% of families experiencing homelessness are headed by single moms. And a majority of the time, those women are fleeing domestic violence. Local leaders say this new center will help so many more women escape that life and move on to a better one. And the streets of Indianapolis are getting brighter in an effort to make them safer. Today, the city of Indianapolis announced that 671 new streetlights have been installed since Operation Nightlight kicked off in 2016. In addition to that, more than 14,000 existing streetlights have been retrofitted with more energy efficient and brighter LED bulbs. The savings from those lights have been and will continue to be used to buy additional new streetlights. About 340 additional new streetlights have been approved and are waiting installation right now. The goal is to install as many as 4,000 new streetlights in Indianapolis neighborhoods by 2025. You can request a light for your neighborhood by calling the Mayor's Action Center at 317-327-4MAC.
And those street lights gonna be coming on here pretty quick because right now we are at sunset here for Indianapolis, officially at 5:31 this evening. Beautiful view there from the IU camera as you see that setting sun breaking through some of those clouds that we've had out there throughout the afternoon. Well, here's another number for us. We've got 32 degrees below freezing. Last time we were at 32 was 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, so it's now 50 hours and counting that we've been below the freezing mark. We'll get there tomorrow. Right now it's 26 degrees for us in Indianapolis, 29 in Bloomington, and 24 with mostly clear skies in Kokomo. Still a little breezy, but today the wind is out of the south, and that will help to keep temperatures a little bit warmer tonight. Storm Team 6 radar is fairly quiet. We've had a couple of flurries trying to develop here around Petersburg and moving through portions of western Indiana. That will continue to be the case, but even as we look back into portions of Illinois, not a whole lot going on with that snow shower activity, so a couple of flurries or isolated snow showers over the northern half of central Indiana this evening. Not going to be a big deal. We'll talk about a gradual warming trend in a few minutes. Chris?
From a national perspective, the 5-year survival rate for lung cancer climbed 26%. But it is still the leading cause of cancer death in the United States, partly because most cases are caught late stage. Early diagnosis increases survival rates by about 5 times. People at high risk, current and former smokers, should be talking to their doctor about an annual screening. Vaping can do irreversible lung damage. The person believed to be the first to get a double lung transplant because of vaping is just 17 years old.
We don't have a lot of options to fix these problems once damage is done to the lungs. Survival post-lung transplant is not what it is post a kidney transplant. It's not a cure.
Now, it's rare for children to need a lung transplant. There were only 27 on the National Organ Donor waiting list as of last month. A transplant doctor that we talked to says most young patients need new lungs because of cystic fibrosis. Children typically have priority and their donors can come from a larger geographic area, but lung transplant survival rates are not that long, a little over 6 years, a little longer if they survive the first year. Now, data shows a slight decline in people waiting for new lungs over the first half of the last decade. The last 4 years, they have held pretty steady. Cigarette smoking rates dropped during that time as well. It is hard to tell just how vaping may impact the transplant need.
a lot of centers are struggling with this idea of when we talk about not being, a requirement being that they can't smoke, is how do you fit vaping into that?
Doctors who performed the 17-year-old's lung transplant did say he has a very good prognosis. We start the Now news feed with what's next for interest rates. Today, the Federal Reserve Chairman is telling lawmakers he's optimistic about the economy continuing to grow, so that means interest rates likely won't be changing in the coming months. Well, the Supreme Court is hearing arguments about a $20 billion discrimination suit brought against Comcast. A black-owned production company is claiming the cable company would not carry their channels, but offered contracts to lesser-known white-owned channels. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not at work today. The 86-year-old is sick with a stomach virus. She has had several recent health issues, including being diagnosed and treated for lung cancer. Let's get back to our lineup. More stores are offering deals to help you buy a car. We're checking out how these work and if they could be a good deal for you.
CA mutation. Ask your doctor about Pickray.
Welcome back to the Now Indy on RTV6. You are looking live right now at the CMA red carpet in Nashville, Tennessee. Country music's biggest stars arriving ahead of tonight's big show there. You can see we are having our artists coming up and taking their pictures, and we're seeing them trickle in slowly. This is just the beginning of the red carpet, so we'll see some bigger stars coming up. And Hank FM's Kara Dennis will join us from the red carpet in the news at 6 and 7. Then be sure and watch the show at 8 tonight here on RTV6. Open enrollment season is here, and unfortunately that means scam artists might try to take advantage of you. The Federal Trade Commission issued a warning today to help protect your personal info. Know that anyone who tries to sell you Medicare insurance while claiming to be an official Medicare agent is a scammer. There are no Medicare sales representatives. Also, ignore anyone who says you must join a prescription drug plan to keep your Medicare coverage. Hang up on anyone who asks for a quick payment, threatens you, or offers you free equipment or services in exchange for your personal info. Never give information over the phone to someone who says they need it so you can keep your health care coverage.
Grocery store company Kroger rolled out a new car buying program that allows shoppers to see what other people have paid for new and used cars. Also says shoppers will get an average of $3,400 off the car's MSRP. Auto sales experts say money off MSRP doesn't necessarily suggest a deal.
If you have a car to trade in, that comes off of MSRP. If you have dealer incentives or manufacturer incentives or tax credits, if it's an electric vehicle, that all comes off MSRP. So there aren't a whole lot of people actually paying that price.
Now, being able to see just how much someone else paid for a similar car may also not be very helpful when shopping around. It may not take into account the additional services shoppers are receiving. For example, someone else could opt for gap insurance as well as a service package. Now, other stores like Walmart, Sam's Club, and Costco have similar car buying programs. Now, just like Kroger's program, the price is pretty much set, so you don't have the opportunity to haggle. The downside here is the price isn't always the lowest. Well, you're also likely to get more financing options if you go straight to the dealer. However, if you're someone who hates the haggling process, they may be a good option for you. Now, another advantage of this is these stores do their own background checks on dealerships and look at things like reputation and customer satisfaction. All right, let's get back to our lineup here on the Now. We're getting a behind-the-scenes look at a prison program giving inmates more than just a life skill that they can use once they're released.
Coming to prison is not so fun, but being able to give something back is very rewarding.
The benefit they and the community are getting from the program that has trained thousands of dogs.
Now only $2.79. Ashley Home Store.
A prison program is helping inmates gain life skills while giving back to the community. Elizabeth Ruiz showing us the success they're seeing training dogs that families haven't been able to.
Thousands have come through these gates at the Colorado Territorial Correctional Facility. But what happens when they walk out? The prison has dozens of programs meant to help the inmates become valued members of society. One program involves these guys.
Good job.
It's called the Prison Trained Canine Companion Program.
Come. Yes. Hurry.
Yes. My name is Lawrence Trujillo.
My name's Zachary Montoya, and we're master dog trainers.
Lawrence and Zachary have been training dogs at the Correction Center for 5 years.
We are with these dogs 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
They teach the dogs how to follow commands.
Duke, sit. Good boy, Duke.
And how to be on their best behavior.
Easy. Yes, good boys.
It's a very coveted job.
Some of these guys haven't seen a dog in 20 years.
But getting into the program isn't easy.
In order to be considered, they actually have to apply for the job. They have to meet certain criteria. They have to have a GED because we're requiring them to read information and process it. And they have to have been on their best behavior documented for at least 6 months.
Michelle Wayland is the supervisor of the K9 program. She says it takes about a year to achieve a master handler certification.
Come on, let's swing over here. We get a dog buddy, and we learn from a master trainer. We go through about 14 months worth of book work. We got tests in there monthly, hands-on tests with the dogs as we progress as trainers, and have to pass each one of those tests to become a master trainer.
The guys say they gain more than just life skills. They're also helping families who haven't been able to effectively train their dogs.
Coming to prison is not so fun, but being able to give something back is very rewarding.
Since the program was created in 2002, inmates have trained nearly 13,000 dogs. A majority of them come from private families who help fund the program through boarding and training fees.
There is no taxpayer dollars supporting this program. So we have to float our own boat.
The program has seen a lot of success the past couple decades. Wayland says Colorado was one of the first, if not the first state to start canine training at prisons. And now
there actually is a canine program in prisons in every state of the union.
The results can be seen in the inmates who are hired.
I didn't have a lot of skills before I came to prison, so this is definitely something I could take with me and do out there. There's been many guys that have left and have been successful at doing this on the streets.
Whether working at a shelter, a kennel, or starting their own training business, both Lawrence and Zachary say they'd love to continue working with dogs once they get out of prison.
Good come.
Something that wouldn't be possible without the help of dog owners.
We would just like, probably as a team, to thank them for their support and appreciate the trust they have in us.
What's up, fellas, huh? You guys did good. You guys did good.
In Canyon City, Colorado, I'm Elizabeth Ruiz reporting.
Elizabeth, thank you. And major cities are scoring high in areas to improve our quality of life. The City Health Initiative is out with its new rankings when it comes to critical issues that improve public safety and overall well-being. Now, 8 of the 40 largest cities that you see right here, they earned gold medals in this, which is a huge improvement from just 3 years ago when a majority didn't get a medal at all. The initiative looks to see if cities have policies and laws to improve access to things like affordable pre-K, housing, nutritious foods. One of the biggest areas of improvement over the last 3 years are new indoor smoke-free laws and moving the tobacco age from 18 to 21.
You'd be surprised that even a few years ago, there were so many cities where you were still allowed to smoke in restaurants and bars. That's pretty much a story of the past.
An area that could use work is improving public safety. City Health's president says health data shows simply limiting the amount of stores that can sell alcohol in an area can make a difference.
2 key things that you could do to prevent violence is either start taxing alcohol a little bit higher. We haven't had changes in that in decades. Or, again, creating safer sales. So it's not saying that you can't have alcohol.
Now, the report and a sort of to-do list of changes that can be made are shared with city leaders.
One of the biggest efforts to feed people in Indianapolis on Thanksgiving Day says there's good news even if they do still need your help. The Moselle Sanders Foundation is busy planning its massive annual Thanksgiving Day meal. It's estimating volunteers will make about 22,000 meals this year, which is significantly less than years past. In 2018, they fed 40,000 hungry Hoosiers, but this is a good sign. Organizers say they had a lot of leftover food this year. Combine that with current numbers they're dealing with, and the need was a little less this year. But that does not mean you should cancel your acts of goodwill this holiday season.
The economy's doing better, thank God. And so we're fortunate to that. But there's still people that are very hungry and very needy and very much needing the touch of the community on a very important day, Thanksgiving. So we still want people to give money and help us reach our goals.
Butler University will be hosting this year's Base Kitchen once again with over 30 satellite locations across the city. Another way you can give back this holiday season is by taking part in the 6 Shines On Toy Drive. Our annual toy drive kicks off Friday during the new Christmas Nights of Lights at the State Fairgrounds. Bring a toy and receive a discount on an Indy fuel ticket. Also, a portion of the proceeds from the Lights event on Friday will go to the toy drive. Kyle.
And lots of places to check out the lights this season. Of course, now you can see there.
You can see them out there.
Yeah, the lights of the Brickyard, kind of the preview show, if you will, because officially on the 27th, you'll be able to drive through and check those out. Well, our temperature is at 26 degrees. Our average low for this time of year is 36. So we are 10 degrees colder than that. Didn't even make it to where we should start the day. And there are those wind chills right now sitting in the teens in Indy, Peru, and Terre Haute. 18 degrees is what it feels like. Just a few flurries, isolated snow showers out there tonight. Not going to be a big deal. No accumulations. 22 for the overnight temperature. And as we look at TrueCast for your Thursday, we'll have a few more clouds around once again, especially northwestern half of central Indiana here. But we're not going to see any precipitation out of this. Actually, it's a pretty quiet stretch of weather coming our way outside of those small flurry and snow shower chances tonight. Your forecast as we take you throughout your Thursday, we'll get to 33 degrees at noon. Afternoon highs getting above that freezing mark, not by much. Into the middle 30s, a little closer to 40 degrees in Bloomington and Columbus at 39. But the very cold air is going to start to move out a little milder. But it's baby steps here as we go through the next few days of your forecast. We're in the upper 30s on Friday. There you can see we'll keep things nice and dry going into the upcoming weekend. Temperatures making their way into the lower 40s. Average high again in the middle 50s. Chris.
Well, no matter if you're a grandparent, parent, or even a child, our phones are how we stay connected. Annie Taylor's showing us one company who is taking the cell phone experience to a whole new level.
While this might look like an old warehouse that's painted blue, welcome to Phonetopia. It's an art installation that literally lets you go inside your phone.
Regardless of age, everybody these days is really digital first.
Yep, whether you like it or not, cell phones are one thing that connects every generation together. That's why Beth Veen and the rest of the team at Visible created a clever way of marketing their new phone plan by poking fun at the digital culture we can't get away from.
People are more likely to turn their car around when they forget their phone than when they forget their wallet.
Abby Simonis is one of those people.
We're going to start by sliding to open your phone.
Being a millennial, Abby is pretty tech savvy. She knows how to dodge notifications, push through alerts, but she's had to teach her mom, a boomer, how to navigate her phone.
She thinks I'm somehow better at it. I probably am the one that set up Facebook on her phone, Instagram on her phone, like helping her like with her email. Like I've done all of that for her.
Even showing her how to scroll through her social media feeds.
Run up. Okay.
Alrighty. Go. And teach her what sliding into someone's DMs means. Or take a selfie the right way.
Duck face selfie.
No matter your age, these are all things we go through using a smartphone.
It's a very universally understood thing. There's definitely a lot of relatable things regardless of your experience with the phone.
Although this interactive art installation is a fun and unique way to experience our phone, it reminds Abby this little device keeps her connected with her mom.
Moving away from Wisconsin, like if my mom didn't have a smartphone and didn't have like all the apps and the things that we are able to like connect with, I would stay in touch with her like far less.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Let's start the Now newsfeed. New Yorkers will have a Navy SEAL coming to save them in a fire. 38-year-old Sean Donovan won his bid to join FDNY because at first, this Navy SEAL was said to be too old to join. Now, there's a new bill in New York that gives veterans more flexibility with age requirements. Now, if you were hoping Costco was actually giving out a free $75 coupon on Facebook, got some bad news for you. It may be obvious. It's a scam. Scam says you have to click certain links to get to the deal, but Costco says that has nothing to do with it. They also say that you should keep your eyes out. There's other scams out there offering up to $1,000. Nike will no longer sell merchandise directly to Amazon. The company wants to sell more directly to customers, according to CNBC. Nike first testing directly selling merchandise to Amazon back in 2017. Well, next in our lineup, we are seeing all kinds of deals on TVs, but let's face it, they can still be really expensive. And these new TVs, they aren't lasting as long as you think. What you can do to extend your tech's life.